2020 has been on crack. Nyaupe. Ratics. Do not visit planet Earth. And your girl just dipped into depression. What if this is COVID-19? Where I literally felt like I was dying. You know, you get onto your knees and you're crying, you're like, God, I don't know what I am doing. Yo, Miguel is back with another video. Yo, Miguel is back one time. Back with another video 2 times. Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's your Darkskinned girl with a motive, Poko Rams, and welcome back to my channel, honeys. You guys can see by the title today, I've got some tea to tell you about my life update. What has been going on with me, why I had been gone for so long, and now I'm back. So I'm gonna get into this with you guys, but let's not forget, for those who are new, welcome, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as you guys can see by the title, today is a day where I'm going to be basically opening up to you guys and telling you guys where exactly I've been. Where has Poko been? What has she been doing? I think essentially, as we can all see, 2020 has been on crack. 2020 has been on nyaupe. 2020 has been smoking, or I don't know, having ratics. It's essentially pretty much a very dodgy year for all of us. The rating, we're all gonna give it a 0. Do not recommend, do not visit planet Earth. Absolute ghetto. GHETTO. Would not recommend to anyone. Listen, 2020 has been hard for all of us. I think that we've learned and seen so many things that have happened around us, and things that we never knew in our lifetime we'd be living in a pandemic and something like this where you had to be in lockdown and stay at home, which obviously has had a lot of pressure on our mental health, you know, to all of a sudden just be locked inside. But without further ado, let me just get into what's happening with me. Basically, early in the year, around a month after lockdown happened, we had a loss in the family. Very sudden, very quick, not corona related, and we were very close to this person. So it was a very touchy time for us. It sucked a lot. It still sucks now. It's like, why would somebody just leave us like that and go with all the vibes, you know? It's very hard to understand when it just happens this fast, you know? So that had a huge impact on not just me but my family as well, my sister as well. It was just a really, really big loss for us, and so that's what happened. And this year, you know, 2020, I think everybody was looking forward to it. Everybody was making plans like, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna do this year. 2020 is my year. This is what we're gonna be doing. You know what, Kanye, I'm gonna be a president in 2020. People had big plans in 2020, and 2020 had its own plans and was like, sweetie, oh, not with me, sis. I'm gonna give you guys a lesson. And honestly, I think it's been very refreshing to see where 2020 is coming from. 2020 really showed us that she is really that bitch. Yeah, no, I think that we all thought that we're gonna come for this girl, but the girl was like, not this year. I'm really gonna show you guys live. It's been a lot. So anyway, with the loss that happened, I had always had plans in 2020, and my plan was to start a YouTube channel. It was something that I was really, really afraid to do for the longest time, and I was like, you know, Poko, just started. So a month later, after burying our loved one, I was like, let me just do it, you know. I think one thing I was also I wasn't really dealing well with being somber all the time. I'm like, right, guys, give yourself 2 weeks, give yourself 3 weeks. I mean, there's not a real timeline to get over death. But I just needed something to motivate me, to keep me busy, you know, not keep me thinking, especially if you're in lockdown and the only thing you can do is like schoolwork and like, you know, focusing on stuff like the TV and watching and binging and gaining weight. And I thought, listen, you're just gonna start now. So I did, and that was fun, as you guys can see. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really just trying to find my community and find my market. And a part of me was, if I'm being honest, running away from my reality of this is what's happening in your life, Poko. Like, you've lost someone. And a part of me felt like, Poko, you are not excluded from life happening. I was like, anything could happen to you, babes. Don't think that it couldn't happen to you. You think that you can't get corona, babes, it could happen to you. That's exactly how I started to think. And it's very bad because it's just this negative concept and this thing that I was living with, that anything could happen to me. I could walk across the road and I could get into an accident. And a part of me started having anxiety about the things that were happening around me, even with people. When people didn't text me back and I was talking to them, I remember I was speaking to and I was supposed to see him. It's like, he's like my brother, and then he just went silent, and I was like, what? What's going on? And I thought he was in a car accident. Like, stuff like that was starting to I started panicking with things that were happening around me, worried that it literally anything could happen. Someone could get into an accident, someone could die tomorrow. I just thought I couldn't obviously fall short of anything happening to me. And I think that's a part of my anxiety coming in. It's because, you know, anxiety is basically where you feel like you can't have control over things. And I don't have control over people's lives. I don't have control of what could happen in the future. But I felt that if I couldn't control it, I was like panicking. So that's exactly what was happening with me. But I never really noticed it. I never really was like, oh, it's anxiety. I was just like, it's cool. Because I never want to be that person that over abuses the word anxiety. And I take mental health very seriously. But your girl's really going through it. I just never noticed it. Fast forward, you know, YouTube is doing great. And I had another loss. A very big loss of being in a relationship with someone and loving someone. And then someone's like, juices, sweetie. So that was another big loss for me. And I was like, wow, God, like, I'm really about to do this. And it all felt like, okay, this is happening. I've literally had to deal with grief, and I didn't really deal with it because even my friend of mine was like, are you sure you're okay with starting YouTube? I know that we've always like encouraged you to start, but like, are you sure that you should be starting right now? And I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. And so it felt like I was now dealing with that again, dealing with losing someone and then losing another person in my life. And then school had come. So everything was just like 1, 2, 3. Literally all my feelings were at an all-time high. So fine, that's how I felt. Then so after I had that loss, now school was on my back, and I was like, I need to finish school. I need to sort out all of this. I need to sort out my laptop. It all felt like a lot was going on at once. And I was like, I know how to deal with things. I'm generally a strong person, which now, using the word strong, I really despise now, because it's like, you know, are you really strong? I also don't want people to think that as a woman and as a black woman, or just in general, that we always have to be strong. No, that's not my forte anymore, guys. Cut me out. I'm not there anymore. I'm not a strong girl. Because I literally felt like everything was very debilitating for me. Because I was like, nothing's happening, and my anxiety basically just increased at that point. It was just peaking. And your girl was like, I can't do it. I have no control over the things that are going around me. And I started having panic attacks, which was very real for me. And then I had been going to therapy because of the loss in our family. And then things just started escalating, like I said. And then I was basically diagnosed with anxiety, got put onto anxiety meds to basically help me deal with it and just to calm down. It was very difficult living basically at home in lockdown. You're living with the same people every day. You're bound to be irritated with each other. You're bound to be annoyed. You're bound to not want to speak to them. Sometimes you're just like, dude, like, let's just chill. Like, I'm going to go to the other room. You go to another room, and that's fine. But it was very difficult in my household because there wasn't an understanding. If I was like, I don't want to speak to people, people were like, I don't understand why she's having an attitude, why she's having a mood. And that's very difficult for me because I'm like, I'm not here to basically explaining myself. A lot is going on in my life. The same in yours. And I'm not discarding that. I feel like everybody's been through something in this family. I think there was just a whole lot of difficulty communicating because I didn't feel like I was in a safe space to communicate all the time, especially with things that I was going through that were very sensitive to me personally. And that was a difficulty living in a home where I felt that there wasn't really understanding of where I'm at and how anxiety is new for me and how I've always respected this whole narrative of mental health, and now it's happening to me. And I also didn't want to feel like I was some kind of like stigma, like, oh, now she's on meds and It's like, it's a little bit awkward, but obviously you speak about these things every other day, and when it happens to you, it's like, so really, it really felt like baby girl, it literally could happen to you, and it was happening to me. There were days where I just didn't really want to speak to anyone naturally, and I just didn't really want to interact, and that was sort of a problem. And the problems as well just started escalating in the house, where it almost seemed like it was just me dealing with my issues, and Poko is just dealing with these things on herself, and she should just accommodate that we all live in the same house together. And I was like, that's fine, but like, I'm still human. If I don't want to interact with you and I communicate that with you, just respect that. And just things were said here and there, and just things in my own home started escalating, and fights were starting to ensue. And with all of that, with my emotions about what had happened, me hiding them, me concealing my emotions, it became too much for me. Like I said, everything was an all-time high. It's like, Poko, you didn't deal with the grief. You didn't deal with now losing another person in your life. You're dealing now as well with school, where you're supposed to be focused, and everything was at an all-time high. And then this family was now there, and then your girl just dipped into depression. Because I just felt like everything was at an all-time high, and I was like, what is going on? I can't handle all of these emotions. I've never been a person that handles all of these emotions, because I'm a person who's got a very hard exterior, and on the inside I'm a marshmallow. So dealing with too many emotions was like, oh, you're such a loser, Poko. Like, really, you're really gonna be out here just feeling and stuff? No, feelings are embarrassing. Don't do that. So that's how I felt. Like, what is happening? Why is all of this happening to me all at once? And I just started having to deal with, the fact that what's happening in my family is real. We're all going through grief. We're all going through something that's very real for us. And in that interim, people are still going through their own lives personally. It was also me having to accept that I'm not just going through my own things. Other people are going through their own things. I just don't like to be misunderstood, especially if I explain something to you and you still choose to misunderstand me. I'm going to be like, Rima, I'm not trying to have a chat with you. Also just me with the way I started speaking to my family, speaking to people, I was becoming very distant. I was like, okay, this person's not going to be here for me, cut off. And I still kind of don't, but I literally had no capacity for people coming into my life, and I was like, God, I really need you right now. When you just cry, guys, and you're like, you get onto your knees and you're crying, you're like, God, I don't know what I am doing. That's exactly where I was. And I was like, I need your help. I was literally crying every single day for like 2 weeks. On the second week, I had a big panic attack. I didn't even notice what was happening. So anyway, I dipped into depression. I had a panic attack literally after I was diagnosed, and I didn't know that it was happening. I always had the panic attacks where you're like, okay, my heart is beating fast. But now this panic attack was different. I just felt the burning in my chest. I think it was like on a Tuesday, I had a burning in my chest, and I was like, whoa, sis, what the hell? No, it was a Tuesday. I don't know. And then the next day, I had the same burning in my chest coming towards the end of the night, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, what if this is COVID-19? I was like, I'm sick. What's going on with me? I'm sick. And then I started panicking. I started drinking warm water. I'm like, okay, maybe that will help my chest open up, sweetie. And as soon as then my chest stopped burning, and I started just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And I'm like, I've seen these stories. I've seen Lady G talk about her COVID stories. I've seen, so I'm like, I probably have COVID-19. So now I'm panicking. And I'm like, nope, let me try to go to sleep. I get it. I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm like, no, sis, this is not your portion. Dip, you need to go to the hospital right now. I'm like, I need to go. And when I got to the hospital, it was a very traumatic experience for me, the entire thing, the entire journey for me going to the hospital, because I didn't know what was happening with me. And I thought, listen, I am dying. My throat is now starting to close up. My chest I can feel the tightness in my chest. They check me. They really just taking their time at the hospital, because I went to a public hospital. Your girl is not a medical aid. I'm living on the edge. What's up? What's good? Comment down below if you guys are also living on the edge with me with no medical aid. So yeah, government hospitals, they're taking their time. Your girl's like, I'm here with my mask on. I am crying like crazy, and nobody's understanding what's happening with me. Nobody's really attending to me. Nobody really believes what's happening to me, which is very frustrating for me. So I'm literally just bawling my eyes out for like an hour straight. I sat at that hospital and nobody had attended me. They had taken my blood pressure and stuff, but still nothing. And eventually when I started to like calm down, my throat started opening up. I just started opening up a little bit. They called me and they checked my blood. They literally poked me twice, which was really, really sore. And they were like, sis, you're good. You are fine. There is nothing wrong with you. You're fine. I think you were just having a panic attack. I think you're just stressed. So just go speak to your therapist and your doctor and just tell them that this is what happened. And I was like, are you serious? I was even in the wee hours of the morning, because we left at like 12 and I got back home at around 3, and I just got into the shower and I started crying, because I was like, what the hell is going on? It was a very real moment for me, because I'd never experienced something like that. And I felt like I was alone. I felt like nobody understood what I was going through or wanted to understand what I was going through. I felt very much alone. And I also felt like now when I was speaking to people, I felt like I was oversharing and I was kind of pushing people away. Even my own friends, I was like, okay, people live their lives. It happens, guys. Like even after a funeral, life still happens. The next weekend, people are still going to baby showers. People are still going to work during the week. That's what sucks about life for me, and having a loss and just going through all of this is like literally life goes on. People will still go to parties. People are still going to be drinking. People are still going to be having the time of their lives. People are still falling in love. Ew. Like, it's like life literally goes on and you're just going through all of this on your own, Poko. I was very impatient with time. I was like, I want to be happy now. I want to get over what I'm going through, all of these highs now. I'm so tired of it being a thing of everything's at an everything's at an all-time high. Like literally all of my emotions was like school, family, like relationships, friends, everything was literally just, and I was like, why is this all happening at once? And then a panic attacks. I've never had a panic attack like that, where I literally felt like I was dying. I literally felt like I was having a heart attack. And it was very frustrating with me, because I was like, no, very frustrating for me rather. And I was like, no, I can't do this. I don't know why I'm going through this. Literally, I had tears for everyone. As soon as people started speaking to me, your girl was here too, lady. I was within the tears. And it was the worst time of my life. I think being impatient with time and wanting to heal now, wanting to be happy now. I used to tell my friends, I'm like, guys, I just want to be the Poko you once knew. And I think that broke their hearts. Is like, I was just like, I just want to be happy again, because it sucked being in a space like that the entire time. Guys, it's tiring to be angry. It is tiring to be sad. It's like, it drains you, And whereas being happy, it's so easy. But there was just days where I just couldn't get out of bed. There were days where I wouldn't eat until like 3 p.m. and I needed to take my pills. And it's like still difficult for me. And even when I was diagnosed with depression, my doctor was like, all right, baby girl, so this thing is only going to like kick in after 2 weeks. I was like, no. Ma'am, listen, I need this to kick in right now. I need to be happy tomorrow. And she's like, sweetie, it's not gonna happen. And yeah, basically that's literally what's just been going on, and it's been very, very difficult for me. What I realized is that these things are real. It is mental health, yes. And I think people have like a why do you take pills? Why do you da da da? I've had a lot of people ask me those things. Like, I don't believe in pills. I think you can get over it by yourself. And for me, I'm like, it's a new experience for me, and I'm gonna try everything that's gonna help me at this point and what I'm being offered. And I think as well, I was literally trying to find anything that could help me at that point, because I just felt like I was just going deeper into just a dark place. I wasn't suicidal, but there were days I was just like, what am I doing here? Like, honestly, I don't understand. I just can't do it anymore. But I was never like, I'm gonna, which is very serious. And I'm happy, because even that day when I thought that I was having a heart attack, I was like, I don't want to die. And when I told my therapist that, she's like, that's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear you say that you don't want to die. And that was a big realization for me. So mental health is real, guys. I've always known that, but being through it and living with it and coping with it, has been a new experience for me. And I just want to let you guys know, I think everybody's been through having anxiety, thinking you might have COVID. I think everybody has anxiety about that. Like, oh, I just coughed. Oh, my throat is feeling, and you just feel like, oh, I might have COVID. And it's scary. We're living in a very scary time where you think you might have it. And I just want to let you know that it's okay. Speak to people who will understand where you're coming from. And also just learn to just calm down. What has helped me so far with my anxiety, I stopped taking anxiety pills like too much, because I started basically meditating, and meditating is really just, it's literally just videos on YouTube that I have, and I'll actually put them below in the description box. And it's just breathing exercises where because I struggle to sleep sometimes, I just lie in my bed and I put everything straight, hands down, palms open, and I just do my breathing, think about what's been going on in my life for a second, and then be intentional about how I want to sleep today. Or, when I do anxiety ones, I think about what's bothering me and how I can let that go, how I have no control over it. It's okay, Poko. So that's been helping me a lot. I was very overwhelmed with schoolwork as well, which was a lot, but I got through it and I passed my 3rd year, which is pretty amazing. What else? What I realized with my triggers were definitely family. My triggers were obviously not having control over things that I wanted to have control over, and what I've learned is that, Poko, you can't have control over everything. But how I've learned to deal with it is, I need to understand what my capacity is and what my capacity is to give, and as well to extend myself to others, but also to be selfish about me at this point, because it was real for me and I felt like I was alone. I think it's really important to also journal. Journaling has been a thing that I needed to do, to write down my feelings. If people were to see my journal, the names that will pop up there, how angry I was for those weeks when it was a long time. But I want to let you guys know that, yes, it's very frustrating to go through something like that, but time is time, and you have to understand that you can't be impatient with it. And that's even hard for me to accept right now. Maybe someone can give me advice on that, but it was very difficult for me to just be patient with that. And when it wasn't going fast enough, I was just like, I just want to get over it tomorrow. And that really sucks for me. So I thought I should just tell you guys what's been my experience so far, and that I'm back on YouTube. I've had my birthday. I started my course before my birthday, and I was like, yes, by my birthday I'm going to be a happy chappy because of these things that are helping me. And yeah, it's been really real for me. Mental health is real, but also, guys, mental health is health in general. And we're not going to be out here. Somebody said to me, you're not going to be out here saying, oh, leg health. No, it's just your health. You're taking care of yourself. And that's what I want people to know. That's what I want people to understand about it, that there's nothing wrong with me. I just wish I had control over certain things, and I don't. And that sucks. I'm going to stop being a control freak. But yeah, guys, with that being said, I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. If you don't, please don't be scared to ask me questions. I do want to, have conversations with other people that have been through this or have been experiencing stuff like that, where you just be like, okay, what's going on with me? I feel sweaty. I feel like my heart is beating fast. And you just put up your hands and you just breathe in and breathe out for about 5 minutes. And it's helped me a lot. I'm still learning, so please do help me. But yeah, your girl is a big girl now, and I'm glad to be alive. Yeah, so with that being said, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video today. I'm really excited to be back on YouTube. Please tell me down below what you guys want to see from me. I have loads of stuff to like announce and tell you guys. And yeah, I'm excited to be back. So guys, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and just know that your dark-skinned girl with a motive is here to stay. Your dark-skinned girl with a motive is here to slay. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Lots and lots and lots of love. Cheers. Bye.